morning. Well, good morning, Rockland County. I want to thank you all for being here today in support of our next governor of the state of New York, Stefanik. Before we get started, I want to recognize a few of our party leaders and elected officials that are here today. Joining me on stage, the chair of the Rockland County Conservative Party, Sam Namath. Our great county executive, re-elected to a 4th term, Ed Day. New York State Senator Bill Weber. New York State Assemblyman Carl Bradenek. New York State Assemblyman Matt Slater. Clarkstown Supervisor George Homan. Orangetown Supervisor Teresa Kenny. Stony Point Supervisor Jim Monahan. Former Assemblyman Colin Schmidt. Former State Senator Terrence Murphy. Our Clarkstown Town Clerk and Vice Chair of the Rockland County Republican Committee, Lauren Marie Wall. I want to thank Lauren for all of her hard work in helping organize this event today. Thank you, Lauren. The Chair of the Rockland County Young Republicans, Aidan Rowan. Our Board of Elections Commissioner, Patricia Giblin. Clarkstown School Board Trustee, Jason Bass. Clarkstown Councilman Bob Axelrod. The great Superintendent of Highways in the town of Orangetown, Jim Dean. Clarkstown Councilman Mike Graziano. Minority Leader of the Rockland County Legislature, Ron Hofstein. Putnam County Executive Kevin Byrne. Orangetown Town Clerk Rosanna Straga. County Legislator Ray Sheridan. Brett Yeagle, former Mayor of Pomona and Haddishgaard Chairman. Brian Donahue, Orangetown Councilman. The Chairman of the Erie County GOP, Michael Crocker. Orangetown Councilman Dan Sullivan. Stony Point Councilman Todd Rose. County Legislator Will Kennelly. The Ramapo GOP, Marino Fontana, and Andrew Davis of the New York State Conservative Party. If I missed anybody, I apologize, and we'll get you on the back side. Now up, I'd like to welcome the Rockland County Conservative Party Chairman, Sam Namath, to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. As the chairman of Rockland County Conservative Party and standing here alongside Republican colleagues, it is our honor to welcome Congresswoman Stefanik to Rockland County, a county that not only held the line in the last election, but also flipped seats. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of our voters and volunteers. Elise is a fighter for taxpayers, for public safety, and for the value that matter to New Yorkers. She has always stood up for us, and today we proudly stand with her. Ladies and gentlemen, I am confident she will be the next governor of New York. Yeah. Thank you, and may God bless USA, Rockland County, and the great state of New York.
Thank you, Sam. I'd now like to introduce our Rockland County Executive, Ed Day.
Good morning, Rockland. Is it morning? Anyway, this is important. The only way I get your attention is by going there and showing you what I'm pointing at. In any event, first of all, great to be here today. I want to welcome our great Congresswoman Elise being here with us today. It's fantastic. And of course, our Congressman Mike Lawler for the great things he's been doing. Rockland needs a partner in Albany. Now, I have a certain perspective as being a county executive because there's a batting order that comes down from the president to the governor to the county executive. And we need a partner. We do not have one in Albany at all. Our unfunded mandates and reckless policies have driven up local taxes. While Rockland County has cut taxes, we are forced to deal with the taxes going up in the state. Elisa understands county government will work us, not work against us. We need a governor who respects local control and local taxpayers. Our families are being priced out. New York is dead last in tax competitiveness and losing applications every year, and losing population also. Elisa has a proven record of cutting and fighting the middle class families. And also another issue that's strong to my heart as a former MIPD office officer. Public safety must come first. That is not what we're seeing here in Rockland because of the actions of the state. The state looks at bail reform and sanctuary state policies, and it makes our streets even less safe. And that is a reality that we're dealing with. She has always backed law enforcement and supported strong public safety policies. All you need to do is listen to what's being said by the Democratic side in Albany. Have you ever heard him say one thing about doing something well, positive for the victim of a crime? No, nothing. Every piece of legislation they put out is something that makes it better for a criminal. That is absolute nonsense. That cannot stand. And the police will stop that. Hands down, hands gloves, done. Again, we need a governor who puts victims and families ahead of criminals. I have had the unfortunate reality in my lifetime to see crime, to see the impact upon victims, to see how it affects their lives, totality. The Democrats in Albany, led by our governor, is doing exactly the opposite. It has to stop. What Elise will do, Elise will take a decade of delivering New Yorkers with tax relief, infrastructure, small business support. She will be a national leader standing against anti-Semitism, which is extremely important in this county. She brings a bipartisan, results-driven approach that state desperately needs, and that is critical at this point. So with that, I'm here for a very simple, straightforward reason. I am drawing my support to Elise for governor of the state of New York. I ask everybody here in Rockland County to understand what happens in Albany does affect us here in Rockland. As you can see, the negativity that happens because of these policies that we just talked about. But Elise at the helm, that will be changing in a very rapid order. And personally, I will help her in any which way I can to make sure that does not happen. So with that, Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed. And now welcome up our great state senator, Bill Weber.
Good afternoon. Who's ready to fire the worst governor in America? Listen, I've been up there for 3 years now in Albany, and I see the progressive craziness that comes out of Albany. We have a governor who rolls over to her own party, who doesn't negotiate, who doesn't protect the taxpayers right here in Rockland County when we talk about congestion pricing. What an insult to everyone in Rockland who knows that we can't get an easy ride into the city, yet she forces that upon us. We talk about bail reform. She talks about, oh, I've tinkered it, I've changed it. She didn't change it. It needs to be repealed, and I know that Elise Stefanik will work towards repealing that. We need someone in Albany who will be a fighter, to be a check and balance on the crazy left that's running the Senate and that's running the Assembly right now. She will be that check and balance. Listen, did anyone see her take on the college president? It'll be cakewalk for you up in Albany if you bring that intensity. But listen, what she did protecting our Jewish residents, not only here in Rockland County, but throughout the state and the country, is something that I'm forever grateful for her, and I know everyone in as well, because we know what anti-Semitism looks like. We know it, we saw it. She exposed them to their face and really held them accountable, and that's what we need in a governor every single day, and that's what we will get with Elise Stefanik as our next governor. When I talk about checks and balances, we have finally broken the supermajority in the Senate, and with Elise Stefanik as the governor, listen, I hope we get to the majority in the Senate, but even if we don't, if we can protect the numbers that we have right now, I know Elise will veto very bad legislation, and we will make sure that we uphold that veto, because that's what we need. I know that Elise Stefanik, coming from a small business family, she understands the everyday struggles of small businesses, of residents of this state. She's very pro-law enforcement, something that this governor kind of teeters with every once in a while. And here in Rockland County, now more than ever, we need a strong governor in Albany to protect us from Zoran Mandavi. Woo! So I am so thrilled to be here today. I am so thrilled to endorse Elise Stefanik as our next governor in the state of New York. And I can't wait to call you Madam Governor. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Bill. Now, we all know why we're here. Our incompetent governor and radical far-left state legislative majority in Albany are destroying the great state that we all love. And let's be honest, Kathy Hochul, Carl Hastie, and Andrea Stewart Cousins are the state-level equivalent of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Chuck Schumer. They are feckless, they are failed, and driving more and more residents, businesses, and economic investment out of our state every day. Year after year, New Yorkers are subjected to the highest state and local tax burden in the country. And because of that, our Tax Freedom Day in New York is May 3rd. That means that every dollar you earn through May 3rd will go to the state to feed their insatiable appetite for spending, waste, and corruption. That is the latest date anywhere in the country. And it's why New York leads the nation in out-migration. We have the highest tax burden, the worst business climate. And you look at the challenges facing this state, there's no end in sight. And as if the property taxes and the income taxes weren't bad enough, we also pay the highest health insurance taxes in the country. have one of the nation's highest gas taxes, and year after year pay more for energy than pretty much anywhere else in the country. And even worse now, we have an incoming mayor of New York City who openly espouses socialist, communist, and radical views. Praising Hamas outside of synagogues. Zohran Mamdani loves that idea. Legalizing prostitution? Sounds good. Raising taxes and making New York less competitive? A-okay with Zohran. The list goes on and on. And Kathy Hochul endorsed it. Kathy Hochul embraced it. Kathy Hochul is a rubber stamp for it. And it's exactly why we need to change course. We need a fighter to be our governor. We need somebody who is going to champion the middle class and the working class and hardworking New Yorkers all across this state. We need someone who is going to make sure that New York is open for business and not running businesses out of this state and down to Florida or Texas or anywhere else in the country. Hell, they're even going to New Jersey and Connecticut. It's precisely why we need Elise Stefanik. Elise Stefanik is a champion. She is a fighter for her district, for our state, for our country. She is someone who should not be underestimated, who has taken on tough fights, who ran when people thought it wasn't possible to win. She won a seat in 2014 that was held by Democrats. And she became the youngest woman ever elected to Congress at that time. Elise Stefanik, in her time in Congress in Washington, has become a household name because she has taken on the big fights. She has stood up for her values and what she believes in. She has stood up for Americans all across this country and New Yorkers who have been forgotten by failed, feckless leadership in Albany. One-party Democratic rule in New York has run this state into the ground. All of us know friends and family and neighbors who have picked up and left New York for a reason. It has absolutely nothing to do with the weather and everything to do with the cost of living, public safety, and the declining quality of life under one-party Democratic rule. Elise stood up against anti-Semitism. She embarrassed those presidents of those universities and colleges and shamed them for allowing anti-Semitism to run amok at their universities. She exposed the intellectual rot at the very top of our most elite institutions in this country. And just for that, we owe her a debt of gratitude. Elise has been a leader on issue after issue. She was elected as conference chair, the highest-ranking New York Republican to serve in Washington in over 100 years. Elise is someone who is respected by her colleagues, by her friends, and feared by the opposition. Because Elise Stefanik doesn't take shit from anybody. There's a reason why Kathy Hochul spends every day attacking Elise Stefanik. because she knows that she's about to get her ass kicked next November. Under Kathy Hochul's watch, New York State's budget has ballooned to twice the size of Florida's, over $100 billion more annually, despite Florida having several million more in population. We have the highest tax burden, and Zoran Mondani now wants to raise taxes by $9 billion on New Yorkers, and Kathy Hochul thinks that's just A-okay. No problem whatsoever. And mark my words, she will capitulate. She will bend the knee, because they are all petrified of being primaried by the far-left radical socialists that helped propel Zoran Mondani into office. When you think about the challenges facing this state, from public safety and the pro-criminal policies that have been put in place under one-party Democratic rule, they praise and protect criminals. They disregard victims, and they attack law enforcement every chance they get. They have made our communities less safe. They have allowed our city and streets to be overrun with a migrant crisis in which they spent billions of dollars of taxpayer money providing free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants, while telling our seniors and our veterans to go pound sand. They don't care about the cost of living. Because if they did, they would cut taxes. They would increase domestic production of energy here in New York, allow for natural gas, allow for nuclear power. Instead, every policy decision they have made over these last 2 decades of having control in Albany and controlling the governor's mansion has made New York less safe, less affordable, and less free. And now they have thrown their lot in with an avowed socialist. So when you look at the path forward, it requires a fighter. It requires a champion. It requires somebody who's going to shoot straight to New Yorkers and tell it like it is. It requires someone who is unafraid to take on the tough fights, who will stand by her conviction, not lift her finger and throw it up in the air and see which way the wind is blowing, not tell New Yorkers one thing, only to do another right after the election is over. It requires someone who will be governor, who will actually do the job, and who will have a spine to push back against the state legislature and Mayor Mondani. And that is why I am proud today to stand here as chair of the Rockland County Republican Committee, as a member of Congress representing the 17th Congressional District of New York, and as a longtime friend, to announce that I am proud to endorse Elise Stefanik to be our next governor. So on election night, next November, when Elise Stefanik is declared victorious, it will be because of the people right here in Rockland County. Rockland County will deliver the governorship to the next governor of the state of New York, Elise Stefanik.
It is great to be back in Rockland County. I have campaigned many times Lawler, and I will tell you the energy and enthusiasm is incredible. The inroads that Republicans have made, both locally, at the county level, and in this region have been tremendous, and it's really a model for the rest of the state. So thank you to County Executive Ed Day for your endorsement and for all you do. Thank you to State Senator Bill Weber for your endorsement as well. And in addition to the Republican Party support of Rockland County, I am grateful for the Conservative Party support as well. Thank you, Sam. Now, I want to invite all these elected officials up here to join me on this stage because this is a team effort. We are working as one team to fire Kathy Hochul and save New York once and for all. Under Kathy Hochul's failed leadership, New York is the most unaffordable state in the nation, with the highest taxes, highest utility bills, highest energy prices, highest insurance prices. The list goes on and on. Skyrocketing rent, unaffordable groceries. Even this morning, I was reading an article about how across the country, the cost of a Thanksgiving meal is going down, except in New York State. We are one of the few states where the costs are higher. And this is because of single-party failed Democrat rule led by Kathy Hochul. And make no mistake, this is an accidental governor. The only reason that Kathy Hochul is governor of New York State is because Andrew Cuomo was pushed out and Kathy Hochul was accidentally propelled into this position. And what have we seen from Kathy Hochul? A safety crisis and a crime crisis in the state of New York, an affordability crisis in the state of New York, an energy crisis in the state of New York, a skyrocketing of anti-Semitism, which is inexcusable to see from the governor of New York. We desperately need new leadership and a fresh approach and a willingness to always put New Yorkers first. That is why I am running for governor, to save New York once and for all. Congresswoman from upstate New York, I wanted to share a little bit about my background and upbringing. I'm born and raised as an upstate New Yorker. I grew up in my family's small business. I experienced firsthand the challenges it takes to make ends meet and to grow small businesses in New York. That has gotten so much more difficult over the past few decades. I was the first member of my immediate family to have the opportunity to graduate from college. I'm grateful for my parents for working hard to give my brother and I better opportunities than they had. I went to work in Washington in public policy, and I decided to move back home to work at my family's small business. And I decided to run for Congress at the ripe old age of 28. No one thought I could win. That's when I first met Mike Lawler. He believed in me. And we flipped a Democrat district because we brought fresh energy, new ideas, and a new generation of leadership. This Democrat district, not only did we win by over 50%, we built a coalition, putting up some of the largest margins in the entire Northeast, not just winning Republican voters, but independent and Democrat voters as well. And every single day for the past decade, I have focused on delivering real results for the families that I represent, for the veterans, for the seniors, for the farmers, for the small businesses, for the hardworking New York families that are left behind every single day. And Mike Lawler and so many of my colleagues on this stage will tell you, we work as a team. When it was clear that New York needed to deliver the House majority, we went to work, which was why I was proud to be one of the first endorsements of Mike Lawler, who flipped this seat in Congress and fired Nancy Pelosi. And I was proud to be elected by my peers in Washington to serve as the highest-ranking New York Republican in over a century. I have always put New Yorkers first. We need a governor who puts New Yorkers first every single day. Look at what Kathy Hochul has done. Not only is she an accidental governor, She actually served in Congress for one term before she was fired overwhelmingly by her constituents because she failed them. At each and every opportunity, she puts New Yorkers last. I talked about the affordability issues, but let's talk about the safety issues. Kathy Hochul has doubled down on failed bail reform. Every single day, New Yorkers are suffering violent crimes, increases of assaults, increases of rapes. Look at the news over this past weekend of what happened in Queens. You have criminals who are prioritized and released into our streets, and Kathy Hochul puts New Yorkers last. She has turned her back on our hardworking men and women in law enforcement. And she has doubled down in the New York Democrat Party, which is the party of defunding the police. Enough is enough. We need a governor who backs the blue and supports law-abiding New Yorkers. And when it comes to the skyrocketing of anti-Semitism that has happened on Kathy Hochul's watch, enough is enough. I am proud to be the leader in the nation in standing up against anti-Semitism, delivering accountability, and providing moral leadership that we deserve right here in New York. You will get that with the next governor of New York State. When New Yorkers were looking for leadership in this New York City mayoral election, what did Kathy Hochul do? She bent the knee to the defund the police, anti-Semitic, tax-hiking socialist who barely got above 50%. That means that nearly half of New York City voters know this is not the direction. But why did Kathy Hochul do that? I'll tell you why. It is because her own polling is plummeting into the toilet. She can't break 50% of registered Democrats because she has failed every New Yorker, no matter what your party affiliation. And Kathy Hochul, who spent this past year saying she's not going to raise taxes, even though we know she has raised taxes multiple times, it took her less than 24 hours to say she will bend the knee and she's going to raise taxes at a time when New Yorkers cannot afford higher and higher taxes. I'll tell you, that's a stark difference to what we delivered. I was proud to negotiate shoulder to shoulder with Mike Lawler the largest tax cut for middle-class New Yorkers in history, with the quadrupling of the state and local taxes. Year. She lies to voters and then will make horrible policy decisions after Election Day. We saw this with congestion pricing, which is a tax on commuters, a tax on working families in New York. She punted that until after the election to try to lie to voters.